Today, I'm going to discuss part two of preparation for your pre-sentence interview and pre-sentence report. Hello, and thank you again for tuning into my video series, Indicted and Facing Prison, Now What? My name is Mark Blatstein, and in 2006, I was indicted and pled guilty to a felony where I lost my medical license. Several years later, in 2010, I was able to get it reinstated in full, but to call everything that I went through and that I know you're going through a surreal experience is an understatement. My goal in this series is to provide you with the crucial information you'll need to survive and navigate these times. I'll provide a new topic every day so that you can move forward because knowledge and preparation builds confidence that you'll need in getting your best possible outcome. Since you're already aware that the Department of Justice and the feds have been asking questions, consider their case against you mostly complete. With their 98% conviction rate, the odds are that you may have to spend some time in federal prison. But you can, at some point, or there is a point where you can actually make and pick a prison and make the placement request. Knowledge is power, and now it's in your hands. Delaying to take the next step is at your peril, and the consequences of doing nothing can be severe. Equally important is hiring a legal team that they're just not great, but do they have experience with a proven track record of successfully defending, and here is the catch, cases like yours. This is your future, and it's crucial to make the right choices now. Did you have any questions? Please do not hesitate to call and consider engaging my services. My phone number is 240-888-7778. This is your future. I've been through it already. The release plan. I've divided it into 6 parts, and you may think it's premature, but it's not. And this is why. Because your judge is going to ask you, because the judge asked me, what's my plan? The judge wants to know that you're not going to come back to their courtroom again. So they want to know that you have some sort of plan. Now, it's expecting a lot to assume that you've thought a whole lot about this, but there is information you can provide to them at this particular point in their courtroom. So you want to be prepared. Believe them when they ask you, do you have a plan? Because if they do, or if you ask you if you have anything to say, then this is an opening for you to speak to your judge. This is called the allocution. And I'm not sure what people will tell you, but my experience is that your personal narrative well written and your allocution can either be a very positive thing in your behalf to the judge, where they can depart downward, and if you if you anger the court, then the reverse is true. So part one is that before your pre-sentence interview now, this can be provided along with your narrative that's woven into your pre-sentence report. Now, there's a YouTube that I'll go through on your narrative. That is your life story. Right now, the Department of Justice has provided to the world your autobiography. It's true. And it's in the form of your indictment. Likely, it's not too flattering. So the goal is for you to begin to consider writing a well-written narrative of your life's history. But you've had time to think. This could have been a humbling experience. You may be embarrassed. You may have regrets for what you've done, but a lot of this can begin to be written out in such a form that it humanizes you first to the probation officer writing or doing the pre-sentence interview, because they're the most important person in your life, not your attorney. The second part of the release plan is preparing for the sentencing hearing, building on part one, if you will. And although they're the same, I want to expand it. You've had time to think, accept responsibility for what you've done. You have remorse for the victims that you've harmed. You're embarrassed for, the community, your colleagues, your family. You have regrets, and it's all about the victims. But if you've been able, for example, to get a job before sentencing, or have someone who is willing to write a character reference letter for you, saying that they'll hire you at a minimum wage when you get out of prison to help you get on your feet and hold you accountable so that you won't get into any more trouble. This is what they want to hear. They want to see that you have a plan, and it's okay to be nervous. And this can be pre-written. It can be part of the pre-sentence interview where you have it all written down. You can come into court with paper. You could come into court with a 5x8 card with individual notes on it, or you could have done a video. You could have done a professional video, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, or you could have done one with just a smartphone. But if you feel that you may be too nervous to speak in your court, which is your conversation with your judge or your allocution, you can provide your allocution in written or video format before you get to the interview, or rather before you get to sentencing hearing. If you're already at this point and don't have the time to wait for my future videos, give me a call and we can discuss your situation one-on-one. Once again, my number is 240-888-7778. Continuing, you're allowed to bring written notes into court with you. Why is this a good idea? Well, first, it's okay being nervous. That's normal. More important, judges across the country have been interviewed and quoted were saying that they want to hear from you. You don't want to hear from your attorney because attorneys are paid to say good things about you to keep you out of jail and keep you from getting, convicted. But they want to hear from you, your story. They want to hear that you've accepted responsibility for your action. You have remorse for the pain you've inflicted on the victims you've created. You understand, and judges understand that crimes do not happen in a vacuum. So they want to know your life story, and this can be part of your narrative. But what happened to you in your life that caused you to break the law? What is your plan for your release and not to return to their courtroom? Believe me, they asked you that, and I heard it, and I still said, okay, I'll never be back. And then we appealed part of my indictment, and guess what? I lost. And I had to go back to prison again. Not a good day. What were the other ramifications? Did you lose a professional license in a career that you love? I did, but I didn't bring it up because I didn't know any of this at the time when I was going through what you're going through now. So a well-written narrative that can be then turned into an allocution or accompanied by a short video, or your attorney can put together a PowerPoint that can be cheaply done on smartphone to be presented to the judge before the judge when they send in their sentencing memorandum, which is 7 to 10 days before your interview, before the sentencing hearing. Have you provided community service or volunteered in your community? Well, you want to talk about this, and then you want to get these character letters that I've discussed previously, which are letters regarding your character only. It's not letters like for a job, letters about your character. And if you have a letter from someone who says that they're willing to hire you, they have a business, when you come out, minimum wage is what they'll pay, but that it'll help you get back on your feet, and they'll be helping keep you accountable so that you don't run astray of the law again. That's a great letter. Back to your interview. Before submitting all the materials to your probation officer, ensure that they're proofread, organized, and you want everything submitted 1 to 2 weeks before you get to your pre-sentence interview. Your probation officer can copy paste the appropriate parts from your narrative directly into their pre-sentence report worksheet. While physically, you can request that they physically attach the original narrative that you wrote to the official pre-sentence report. Preparation for your pre-sentence interview, writing a well-written narrative is your story, is your autobiography. And if you do not do this, then your autobiography is already out there. As I stated, it was written by the Department of Justice, and it's called your indictment. To engage my services or have your concerns answered, call me today, 240-888-7778. This is my personal cell, and I answer and return all of my calls. You can also get additional information through my website at pprsus.com. That's P as in Paul, P as in Paul, R as in Robert, S as in Sam.com. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in today, and have a safe day.